Star Trek is famous for having some of the most beautiful starship designs to ever grace TV screens, with the Enterprise of the original series held to be among the very best-looking ships ever made. But to counter this, Star Trek also has several hideous-looking ships. The Jaeger class, which has been gracing your screen, is often considered one of the ugliest, though it does have its supporters. Space Dock. But the Jaeger, as bad as it is, and does look horrible, and also has an ill-thought-out background to boot, is not my least favorite Starfleet design, although it is a very close second. No, my least favorite Starfleet ship is instead, drumroll please, the Springfield class. Now, I know what you're thinking. Surely the Jaeger looks worse than the Springfield. I mean, look at that ship. It has the saucer of an Intrepid and the hull of a Maquis Raider or Peregrine fighter in some unholy Frankenstein ship of madness. We will get to the Jaeger in a bit, but for the moment let me explain why precisely I dislike the Springfield. For starters, the Springfield is just kind of useless. It's roughly the same size as, and contemporary with, the New Orleans and Nebula classes. Both designs that look great in my opinion. It even uses many of the same hull components, but manages somehow to come across looking like that. The ship also has a poor layout, with a small secondary hull located beneath the saucer, in addition to another secondary hull extending aft from the saucer, giving the ship two secondary hulls. Maybe there's a tertiary hull? And to top this all off, the ship then has a small mission pod located just above the secondary hull, located aft of the saucer. A pod which just seems to be there to add weight and slow the design down. The nacelles also seem too small for the mass of the ship. The lower secondary hull also seems rather odd. It is connected to the saucer via a pair of struts like the Oberth, but on a much larger scale. The nacelles do not even connect to this, which makes me assume that the ship's reactor is not located there, but in the saucer of the secondary hull which connects to this, the tertiary hull, which means that it is likely this hull has the sole function of housing the deflector. Combined, these features, the two secondary hulls, secondary and tertiary hulls, the small nacelles, bulky mission pod, and its odd size between two other ships, the Springfield, holds the position in my mind as the ugliest Starfleet ship design. Now, sure, the Jaeger is horrible looking, I told you we'd get back to this, and its backstory of being a ship which was built in an emergency out of parts of 2 or 3 other ships is just stupid. It would take so much redirecting of power couplings, changes to thrusters and shields, tinkering with the warp field geometry to get a half-decent ship, that you could practically build a new class and would be better off just building more ships of an existing class, rather than doing that. And, like the Springfield, the Jaeger was designed in the real world to just fill in the background of a large scene, a background ship that no one would ever look at in any great detail, at least so the designers at the time thought. But while Jaeger is unashamedly terrible, with the design being literally cobbled together without thinking about if it makes any sense or not, because nobody would ever see the thing, the designer of the Springfield clearly tried to make the ship make sense and look good, doing what he did with the New Orleans, and others which appeared in exactly the same scene, but failing to make a good design. I can only think that this ship was the last one that he put together after probably hours of grueling work and just decided, good enough. So, in short, I dislike the Springfield because it combines goofy, nonsensical design with odd hull layout, secondary, tertiary hulls, and that other classes using similar components resulted in a really good-looking ship. What is your least favorite Starfleet ship in all of Trek? Let me know in a comment, and if you did like the video, then do all the things that other professional YouTubers are constantly telling you to do, liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Regardless of if you do that or not, I hope you have a good day and enjoyed the video.